I was in Chicago the next day. I go to the meeting, and they says, well, first of all, you might as well introduce yourself. So I introduced myself. Then each one went around the table, told me who they were and where they were with Playboy, you know, and so on. So I was told, now you're going to meet these people every 3 months, these same people, so know their faces. You may not know their names, but you'll know their faces. They'll know you. And I said, well, what's going on? So we would like for you to become our executive chef, the traveling chef. And I said, I don't know if I can do it. Oh, yes, you can do it. You've done so well with your club, and everyone is so happy for you. You got the lowest food costs. You keep your help, and all that is in your favor. And we want to know how you do it, because the other clubs, they don't have it. The chefs are not what they want. The staff is not what they want. So then I said, okay, I'll take it, take the job, I'll try it. I said, but if I see where it's too much, I'll let you know. So they said, do that. We want you to do that. I held that office for 15 years. And the organization listened. When I would say something, they listened to me. I said, but you think about it. Before you do it, you think about it. Think of what I said, you know. And when it was time, Playboy was making changes. And in making their changes, they were getting rid of certain things, you know. I told them, I says, now, this might hurt me more than it hurts you. I says, but I'm going to make a request. You don't have to do it, but I'm going to make a request that we start eliminating, getting rid of some of the clubs. I says, because, and I had it all on paper, clubs that were making money, clubs that were not making money, they were losing money, and so on. My club was making money, but some of the other clubs were not making money. They were just able to pay their bills. The help was destroying the place. They steal so much ghetto. In my kitchen, I know where everything went to. And if something had to be thrown away, I had to see it first. At that time, in the 60s, anybody that was anybody was on Playboy's circuit. Everybody wanted to was on the circuit. And see, all these people had to go from club to club and done their performance and so on and so forth, in which I got to know them all. Cheat, cheat, cheat. I used to say, cheat, cheat, cheat. What happened is that these people would come to the club, and they come in the kitchen, and they would be there for 2 weeks. And they would say to me, Chef, I'm going to be here for 2 weeks. You'll have to take care of me for 2 weeks. I only eat, some eat 2 meals a day, some eat 3 meals a day. But they have whatever they wanted, you know. And within the 2 weeks or so, well, when the 2 weeks are up, they come and they give me a couple of $100, sometimes $300, $400, you know. They thank me. What's his name? Ginny Michi, whatever. I can't think of it. He was so cheap. He walks in and he hands me $25, and I gave it back to him. I said, you need this more than I do. I'm sorry. And I gave it back to him. Well, see, what I used to do with this money is turn it into the office. And every 3 to 4 months, this big jar was opened, counted, made a record of, and then they divided amongst the dishwashers, the cooks, the bartenders, the salad people, everybody. Now Roy was the head bartender. I was the chef. They gave me, each one of us took 10% of that, what was in that jar. We take 10% of it. The rest of it was cut up amongst the lower help. That's how I kept my employees, because every 3 to 4 months they knew they were going to get a check of some kind. I had dishwashers that stayed with me 17 years. Cooks, 15, 12. Nobody stays at a place that long unless they're being treated right. Nobody. They wanted to know in Chicago, how come I kept my help? How do you do it? And I would never tell them. Hugh Hefner, he's a great man, great. And I'm not just saying that. He's good to blacks, he's good to women, he's good to everybody. And he's smart. This man is smart. He's no dumbbell. And they tried to take him down earlier, in around 67 or 68. They tried to take him down like they doing Clinton. And when he got through with them, they let him alone. They didn't say another word. He turned around and wrote it up in his book, in his Playboy magazine. It made them all look like fools. So they didn't bother him anymore. But we have had girls, we had Playboy girls, bunnies, to make as much as over $1,000 a week. A week. Luann Drew, she was our head bunny. She was a bunny for 14 years. And out of those 14 years, she was a bunny for 12 years, and she was a bunny mother for 2 years. But in those 12 years, Luann used to make 1,000 or more a week. We had black bunnies that were making like 700, 800, 900 a week. Just tips. A lot of the clubs didn't last 1 year. New Orleans, 1 year. Out St. Louis, 1 year. Several others open. 1 year was, they only last. The ones that survived were Detroit, Cincinnati, Atlanta, Miami, but the rest of them I opened, and then some of them I closed. I opened them and closed them, but they only last for about a year or so. Boston, that club didn't last long. I went to Lake Geneva. I helped to open Lake Geneva. It didn't last long, 2 years, 2.5 years. They just didn't last. In 1974, we closed. Cincinnati Club closed for remodeling. We were closed for less than a year. When the club opened again, we did not close the club anymore until 1984. The club closed. 83, the club closed. Or was it? It was 83 or 84. The club closed. Cincinnati Club was the last club to close. The Cincinnati Club was still making money. We were still making, and it surprised a lot of people in this area. While the other clubs were closing, why is Playboy here in Cincinnati surviving? And the paper, if when you read the paper, it will say they gave me the honor of, they gave the honor to me of saying, this is why this club survived.